Please let me know if you see it.
Yes, confirming.
Wonderful. Thank you. And I think the question I answered earlier around skilling and a bit of employee engagement blends nicely towards the topic I'm about to cover for the next ooh, 15 minutes. I think we went a bit over time. I'll probably spend 30 minutes still
Yeah, yeah.
wrapping up in the
Go
last
go ahead.
15.
Utilize your time allocation. So
Awesome.
you have 30 minutes. So make use of
Great.
it. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. So yeah, for the next 30 minutes, I'm going to talk a bit about how we could reimagine employee experience, right? And some of the things I'll cover here is around a recent study we completed, which is the Work Trends Index report. This is actually something we run every year. And for 2021, we released ours about early this year. And it talks about some amazing insights around employee experience and what the pandemic has taught us, right? So it's clear, right? It's clear that there's just no going back to our pre pandemic reality. Over the past year, no area has undergone more rapid transformation than the way we work, right? I did not imagine spending, delivering all these talks that I used to do generally on a stage in events, um, all from home, right? Employee expectations are changing, and we will need to define productivity much more broadly and much more inclusive, right? It covers collaboration, learning, and well being to drive career advancement for every worker, including not just our knowledge workers, where for the most part we've been spending a lot of time investing in the tools that they need, but equally important are our frontline workers, right? As well as for new graduates and those who are in the workforce today. All this needs to be done with flexibility in when, where, and how people work, right? Employees want the best of both worlds. 73% of workers surveyed want flexible remote options to continue, right? And I'm sure all of us in this call more or less agree, right? We want to still have that flexibility so that if there's a day where we have focused work as opposed to a lot of face to face meetings, can I continue that work and do it today at home versus in the office, right? And not suffer, let's say, Friday traffic. You know, 67% are craving for more in-person time with their teams. So when you think about it, there's a bit of a bit of an odd situation where people want to be able to continue to work from home, yet they're craving for more in-person collaboration as well because we miss our colleagues, right? I'm sure a lot of you miss those water cooler conversations. Hey, how are you? Right. And so to prepare to that, 66% of business decision makers are considering to even redesign their physical spaces to better accommodate this new trend, which is really hybrid work, right? And hybrid work environments. The data is clear. Extreme flexibility and hybrid work will define the post-pandemic workplace. Employees want, that flexibility and expect businesses to provide options. It's an interesting conversation I had with one of the major banks around. We wanna we wanna increase our capacity to really what do you call this, attract new employees and great talent, right? But we're struggling because when they get into an interview with us, the first thing they ask, or maybe the second or third after the pay, is around, uh, do you offer flexible work from home options? And when they start saying no because of security, compliance, etc., 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 interviewee doesn't come back for the second or third interview, right? It's interesting. There's this push, this expectation, and so we believe that the shift to hybrid work is really putting the people at the center. When we think about the year 2020, it was the year work moved home. But in reality, it's the year work moved to the cloud, right? With people working from home, in the office, as well as on the go, right? Including frontline workers. While it wasn't an easy year for anyone, for sure, there are certain behaviors that people have gotten used to. Like, for example, having breakfast with the kids, no rush hour commutes, and the opportunity to consider roles that don't rely on physical proximity to the traditional office. I have colleagues now and even sometimes I've had meetings with partners where they're based out of their provinces and have been living there for the past 1 year. And it's amazing, right? Because now you're not forced to live in Metro Manila, Metro Cebu, or Metro Davao, right? And really, people have been at the heart of every successful organization. And they're the ones who have been the most affected by this last year. Now, we know that even from your own personal experiences as employees, we know that a sense of belongingness is important to have at work. Employees who feel like they belong are happier and stay at their jobs longer. However, nearly 60% of people say they feel less connected to their team since the shift to remote work, which leads us to a common question that's been asked during the pandemic. How can we create the connectedness we feel from in-person work while working remotely? And believe me, I'm sure I don't just speak in behalf of Microsoft, but a lot of technology companies as well. That employee engagement has not been easy. It's been easy to bring people into a conference room in a hotel, have snacks, have all these engagement activities, and that's not something we can do today. And so we've all been with playing around with ideas on how to make things fun, sending goodie bags to employees' homes, because we know it's important. We know that feeling part of the organization is key, and understanding that you're part of something bigger feels very is really something that's important, right? And many of over the last year, many of us seen how easy it is between the line between work and life to blur, right? We're now always connected. We're now always on, making sense of billions of gigabytes of data, incredible amounts of information, while multiple tasks and deliverables demand our attention at any given time. And so employee burnout is real, and it's been on a troublesome trajectory for several years. And we see clear signs that this always on mode is unsustainable. Contrary to popular belief that you're a technology company, you actually want people to keep using your services 24 hours a day. That is not the way we think about collaboration and productivity. In fact, we've made investments to ensure that as employees, with the Microsoft tools, you have the flexibility to be off of work when needed, right? As decided. So according to a recently published global survey, 85% say their well-being has declined, and 56% say that their job demands have increased, right? We see that actually, there's because of this benefit that we're no longer commuting, we're actually spending more time working than we used to, right? And so, as I mentioned, right, the driving force for any business is really its people, right? Across skilling, uh, when we think about it, the reason behind this and why there's rationale in investing in employee engagement is because it's directly tied to profitability, right? We know that when you invest in your people, your people feel energized. There's actually higher. It's been measured that there's higher profitability. Likewise, employee satisfaction directly ties with employee retention. And when you keep your employees, when they're fully engaged, there's less money spent towards hiring and as well as upskilling people, right? And so we believe that to create a thriving environment for your employees, you want technology that's easy to use and simple to manage, right? Today, over 150 million people use something called Microsoft Teams, including executives, office workers, and frontline workers. But it's not about the tech, What we really believe here is that vision, that it's bringing everything together through technology. To do that, you're going to want technology that's easy to use and simple to manage, right? And this is something that our platform provides. It provides a unified experience. So you can think of it like an immersive digital office. Right? It's become a place to exchange ideas, to have meetings, to share information, to create human connections, all the way to even integrating line of business applications and processes. It brings together all the apps and the resources your employees need in an integrated employee experience. So, what exactly is this idea of an EXP, right? Uh, our research shows that employees want to feel more connected, more aligned to their company purpose, and the mission, right? When I've seen when I've consulted with a few folks that have recently graduated and are applying for jobs everywhere, uh, one of the things that they've been doing proactively is understanding the mission and vision of the organization they're applying for. They want to grow, they want to make an impact, and they want to make a difference. And they want to also have more work life balance. That's for employees. Now, for leaders, leaders are like yourselves need a modern way to engage and develop your employees and to nurture their well being. And finally, IT needs to be able to quickly enable this modern employee experience without having to rip and replace all your existing investments. If you already have a learning management solution in place, an HRIS in place, if I wanted to do something around employee engagement, do I need to rip and replace all these solutions? What we believe is needed is a new approach. And that's why we have this new category of technology solutions called employee experience platform. And what we believe it puts the people at the center by bringing together systems of work with systems of support, right? Because we do have systems of work. If I'm in sales, I work with a CRM. If I'm in HR, I work a lot with an HRIS, right? But what about my systems of support, right? As an employee, my HR tools, my learning tools, my access to company information, right? So both, systems of support and systems of work into an integrated employee experience is the vision. Right? We believe there are a lot of vendors focused around employee engagement and well-being, yes. But today they're mostly point solutions looking to solve maybe one or a few of the symptoms in separate experiences. Today's solutions are fragmented. And I want to quote one of the customers I had a chat with around our challenge today, that is we have a horrible looking spaghetti of solutions that don't work with each other, right? And what happens is if you roll out another tool like, okay, HR and the leadership says, we need to start investing in our people. Let's invest in a learning and management solution. And this is another tool or another website that I'm going to need to bookmark on my browser that I'll most likely not click on, right? So this is why we brought a platform in something that people are already using, right? We believe in an employee experience platform that empowers people and teams to be their best from anywhere, right? So what we've done is we brought together communications, insights, knowledge, and learning right within the flow of everyday work and collaboration in something we already use, which is Microsoft Teams. Now, today, Microsoft Teams is where most remote and hybrid work happens these days, right? It's where chat is happening, collaboration, video meetings, internal as well as external video events, all the way to integration of line of business apps. But taking that a step further, we said we should bring the employee experience solutions to our employees versus go to this LMS website or go to this Comms website, check about the latest updates from our leadership, right? Or if you want to check on your well-being and your insight stats, go to this other website as well that I'll most likely not have the time to check. And so the other key important factor here is that we're not saying we want to rip and replace your LMS because in the first place, this is not an LMS from a Viva Learning standpoint or maybe an HCM solution, not that as well, right? What we're saying is we're providing a platform where we can you can leverage your existing investments because Microsoft Viva is a platform with an ecosystem in itself, right? So regardless of all your investments, we have a way of integrating that into this solution. So let's start with something I'm very passionate about, which is the importance of culture and communications, right? I truly believe that culture really aggressively accelerates the growth of an organization. And one of the things I'm proud of is joining an organization where, you know, somebody like our leadership, Satya, and even our CFO, Amy, talks about the growth of Microsoft as an organization was fueled, in fact, accelerated really by culture, right? And the culture change that we had to make as a company. And so one of the things we have here is called Connection. Viva Connections is a company branded employee app that's right within the same tool your employees would use, right? Which is Teams. It provides a gateway for your employee experience with personalized news, communications, tasks that can be, first of all, branded to your company, right? And at the same time, it could also be customized in such a way that maybe the news could be a bit different if you're from a different department, or if you're a frontline worker, you may want to have a different view from a connection standpoint as well. So let's dive into a demo. Right? Vivo Connections is your gateway to a modern experience, allowing you to stay engaged and informed no matter where you work. It's customized for your organization and personalized for you. It includes a feed of relevant news, conversations, announcements, company events, so you're always in the know. It also provides a dashboard, as you can see here, connecting you to company tools, resources, submit a health check, submit a pending expense claim, book time off. It can also be customized for every role. So as you can see here, we have a retail cashier and giving them the ability to clock in directly from the mobile in the app. So it's a company app that's designed to keep everyone connected and engaged on top of a tool that they're already using for collaboration. And when we think about wellness, right? Wellness and productivity, as I mentioned, there's a lot of employee burnout today. And Viva Insights provides sort of this privacy protected insights and actionable recommendations that help everyone in the organization work smarter and achieve balance, right? And there's three key things here that I want to highlight. Number one, as you think about yourselves as an individual, right? If you're feeling that employee burnout today, I hope not. But if you are, you can receive personal insights that's visible only to you, right? To help identify opportunities to change how you work so you can do your best work. For example, one of the things I had to do was disconnect during weekends because I found out that I've been spending time on weekends because of a personal dashboard that's sent to me, right? Um, Manager insights, right? It's the second key thing, right? Because in the end of the day, we know no matter how hard we try as individuals, if our manager is not on board to helping us achieve work-life balance, we know it's not going to happen, right? So manager insights makes it easy for current managers to understand, the team norms and take action to help their team strike a balance between productivity as well as well-being. And finally, equally important, third aspect around insights is for the business leaders or the organizational insights to be able to provide this broad visibility across the organization. I want to understand what is the company wide situation today on well being, right? What are our stats around people working beyond their working hours? Do we know that, right? Um, do we know which departments are collaborating with each other and which departments are maybe too siloed? While ensuring that privacy is in place. So you can never identify from a manager standpoint or an organizational leader standpoint, never be able to identify very specific people and their stats, right? So from a person perspective, your data, your insights is private to you and you alone. Let's jump into a demo. What does this look like? Viva Insights helps you work smarter and thrive with personalized reminders such as focus work, right? So to help you block time for uninterrupted work, you get coaching time with your manager, help you create space in your busy schedule to prioritize learning. It also recommends regular breaks, meditation apps such as Headspace, fully integrated, and wrap up your workday with a virtual commute. For managers, insights are available on the My Team page. These insights help managers foster healthy, successful teams. So if you click on the employee experience page, to see here a manager can see if their team is at risk of burnout and view a recommended plan to see tips and ideas and also to start a plan to help employees develop a healthy work habit as well as feel balanced, right? Because as I said, it's not just about, the visibility for your own, but as well as the organizational and the investment of your manager, right? So as you can see, all of this is not just about the data, but it's also about some of the best practices that you can leverage based on the work we do with partners such as Headspace, right? So we offer best practices on how to, for example, um, managers here spend the majority of their meeting time in double book meetings, right? Is that a best practice? Maybe that's a culture we want to break, right? And all of this information is something that can also be harnessed by your organization. A really interesting scenario I saw in the Philippines recently is an organization, a really large organization, that they were setting up their new office, right? They were setting up their new office in a brand new building, and they wanted to understand which departments will they put right next to each other, right? Because there's more collaboration. Makes sense that their floors are right next to each other so that people don't travel back and forth. It was an interesting use case because when you think about, say, a collaboration platform like Microsoft Teams, you have those signals, right? The tools have those signals to know more or less who are collaborating together a lot, right? And so they leveraged Viva Insights and the analytics dashboard to customize a view and say, okay, these are the departments that collaborate the most with each other, and these are the ones, and essentially that whole view, right? And that's what they use. It was a very interesting use case. My point being, if you tried this the other way around, you would have probably sent out a survey that may or may not be responded to, and may or may not be accurate. But the signals of your collaboration platform is more likely dependable. As you think about it, if I chat with with this set of people more, then I most likely collaborate with them more, right? Uh, so that's the power of insights. The other aspect around employees is that experience of learning, as I mentioned, right? And when we think about Viva learning, it aggregates all your learning in one place, right? So it's not an LMS per se, it's an aggregator, if you will, with powerful social features and AI powered recommendations that make learning pretty much a natural part of your day. It's designed to accelerate onboarding and upskilling. You know how when we chat a colleague when we're new to a role or new to a department, um, or new to a company, we would ask people, they would send us a link or a screenshot. This is what you do, right? Or these are the places that you need to go to. What if right within your collaboration space in our chat tool, for example, I can hit insert, and instead of inserting what we usually insert GIF, right? Or insert GIFs, uh, you can insert learning content directly within that same chat because it's connected to your learning platforms. That can be done, right? So it can accelerate onboarding, upskilling, foster a culture of individual and organizational learning by helping people learn in the flow of their work right within something like Microsoft Teams. So in this view, right, my learning view, you'll find content that's been assigned to me along with a curated list from a variety of sources, including your own custom content, your own learning management systems, third-party content providers, and even Microsoft-owned content, right, such as LinkedIn Learning, as well as Microsoft Learn. I can see a course that was assigned to me. I can open this LinkedIn Learning module in the flow of my work directly in Teams without needing to switch. I can, right within chat, share content, and then when I jump into a manager experience, to keep your people skills up to date, I can assign training to individuals or groups with a message and a target completion date, right? By clicking, management assignments options, managers can see all the assignments, click the status to track completion, let's say of a particular course, right? All within, again, the same flow of work. Finally, Viva topics, right? As you think about knowledge and expertise within your organization, a lot of it gets wasted, stored in documents, or in some cases, people that leave the organization, di ba? And when you think about it, a lot of the exchanges around content are actually within all of your systems today. Maybe you have a white paper sitting in somebody's cloud storage within the company, about what is this project, let's say project alpha, right? And it's available to everyone. It's just that I don't know it exists. So I'm asking people around what is project alpha, right? So what we're trying to harness here is all of that data you already have. It builds on Microsoft 365, our existing platform, and applies AI to identify knowledge and experts from your organization and categorize them into shared topics, right? So It not only organizes knowledge into topics, it can create topic pages. And let me show you what that looks like. So when you come across an unfamiliar topic or acronym, yeah, what is Project SOAR? Just hover over the word and a topic card pops up, providing additional context. No need to search. It's like knowledge comes to you in the flow of your work. If I click on it, as you can see here, it opens up the whole topic page. I can learn more details, the definition, relevant people, resources across the organization, and even a Q&A powered by something like Yammer. If your question isn't listed, you can also just ask it, right? My question is automatically directed to the experts, and somebody can actually answer that for me. It also creates a topic map to show links between related projects, helping everyone share organizational knowledge. If you click at the homepage, it takes you to the topic center where you can explore additional topics that are relevant to you as you jump into this journey of learning, right? So why do we think that the employee experience platform is something key to organizations beyond all of the stats I shared about earlier around the work trends index, right? Around flexibility, around employee burnout, around the importance of investing in your people from a learning standpoint. Some of the key things that make Microsoft Viva unique is it provides an organizational layer through its integrated system of employee experiences instead of the fragmented point solutions that exist in each of these categories today. Number two, it puts people at the center by delivering personalized experiences embedded into the apps people use every day, like Microsoft Teams and Office. Imagine opening up a Word document with some unfamiliar acronym, and I can hover on top of it and it shows me a topics card. Right? Number three, it provides powerful insights for individuals, for teams, and for leaders based on something that's already there because of how you're leveraging the collaboration platform. Number four, it has privacy and security you can trust. Personal data, as an example, can only be viewed by you. All manager leader insights are de-identified and there's no way they can actually try to jump in. And if your manager is managing an organization that has less than 10 people, then that person won't even have visibility on a team level insight because it's just too easy to identify a very specific person. And finally, it's a platform, right? It provides an open, extensible platform to work with your existing systems. So, if you've invested in LinkedIn Learning, right, for your LMS content, if you already have, as I mentioned, an existing HRIS, then great. It'll work nicely with all the tools that we have here. As I mentioned, ecosystem, right? Just wanted to give you a view of some of the things you may have invested in today, such as, for example, SAP Success Factors, Coursera, maybe Headspace for wellness, right? Customers have told us that they don't want to start from scratch with completely new system to rip and replace their existing systems, right? So extending your existing investments by connecting them together, by making them available and more modern from an experience standpoint to their employees. So that is the approach we're taking here. These are the partner integrators that have already announced. Uh, and we're actually announcing more. I think we just made an announcement last week for a few more integrations. Now, these are some of the use cases that we've seen, right? If you're wondering how can I use each and every one of these from an execution standpoint, right? This is the value that it provides across Viva connections all the way to learning. And I can share this to you after. But likewise, the use cases that we've been seeing this use, right? Now, because I talked a bit about platform, one of the things I also want to mention is how, your collaboration platform can go beyond just chat, video conferencing. Is that it, right? We know that there's an opportunity to integrate maybe your existing line of business apps. Say, for example, you may be using Workday, you may be using ServiceNow, maybe you're using Adobe Sign already. Let's say, yeah, Salesforce, right? And if you're using these tools today, we have worked with them to integrate their existing solutions so that they bring the experience into where the people are working today in Microsoft Teams, right? So, for example, I create a team within Microsoft Teams, I add the members, we have chat, and at that same space, we have another tab for files, and all our office files, Word, Excel, PowerPoint are all there that we can co-author, etc. Another tab in that same space is where I could, let's say, for example, we're a sales team, right? That could be another tab for our Salesforce view, right? A dashboard, or maybe a Power BI dashboard, right? Point being is when you think about these experiences, there's merit in trying to think about a holistic use case versus okay, we're just gonna have a team, we're gonna have a chat here, we're gonna have video conferencing on these other tools, but after the video meeting, all our notes are stored somewhere else, right? And then of course, all you have all these other applications that you may be using as well, that just don't talk to your collaboration platform. But there's also this opportunity to empower your citizen developers, right? One of the interesting use cases I've seen is in Union Bank, right? And you'll find the story online if you search for it. But with the case of Union Bank, what they wanted to do was to automate something in the Treasury Department that manages a lot of the remittances. And they have thousands of transactions every day. And a lot of the approvals are actually manual, right? Paper based, 100%. All those signatories had to be done manually over paper. And so, what the citizen developers did, I'm not talking about IT engaging because IT had a lot of things to do around the infrastructure side of things with other work. And so, the Treasury Department, with the power of Microsoft 365, which already had Power Platform, was that they were able to create low code, no code solutions to automate a lot of these approval processes. And take note, when I say citizen developers, that means these are your business users. They know your business process. You know today that most likely what happens is if you develop something from scratch, there's this translation from business process to IT execution or developer execution, right? With when you empower your business users to develop themselves with low code, no code solutions, then you have an opportunity to give IT focus on the bigger and grander projects while you empower your citizen developers to automate some of the basic processes, right? And that was a great use case with Union Bank. It was treasury people themselves that actually built the power automate flows that they use today, right? And that expedited a lot of their approval processes. Uh, and so that's key, right? So as you think about expanding your collaboration platform, in the case of Microsoft Teams, you can go from bringing your existing solutions, if you're using, as I mentioned, Salesforce, Trello, DevOps, right? Number two, you have a low code, no code solution with the same platform that allows your business users to automate and send and route approvals to Microsoft Teams so that I can approve via chat. Imagine that, right? A bot that allows me to approve, let's say, HR, let's say, what was it? What was I thinking? Uh, applications for leaves, right? And then finally, that same platform allows for full extension, right? That means you can have your developer team really build something with the likes of the Microsoft Bot framework, with Microsoft Azure, right? With web technologies to really extend it and use Visual Studio and say, I want to build an app just for our organization that's running on Microsoft Teams. One of the great examples I have is with another bank, where
Vet,
what
sorry, Vet, sorry to push you back. Can we wrap up your presentation? We have actually exceeded the
oh yeah,
30-minute
yeah, yeah.
time
Sorry.
allocation. We still
My
have
bad,
three more
Mel.
presentations to go. I'm
Got
really
you.
sorry. Thank
No
you.
worries. No worries. Good thing is, I think I am on my last slide, right? And so,
Perfect.
thanks, Mel. So yeah, essentially what I'm saying is, as you think about collaboration, productivity, think about it holistically. Think about employee engagement as a whole, and look at the opportunity to really save by looking at the platform, a more extensive platform than just picking and choosing solutions and then ending up with a spaghetti of different solutions, right? Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you found this useful and keep in touch. Stay safe.